All right, here you go. This is Craig over at the Kirk School of Law, the most powerful self-help law information online anywhere. Um, this video is making is about Sabbath, so I just kind of want to introduce myself. Check out the home, the links about what is a school, student testimony. The site's in a working progress right now, so there's some things missing here and there. But overall, that's okay because we're growing. We got to do a lot of this ourselves. No big deal. But this video here specifically, and I mean specifically, this video is about Sabbath and the Sabbath question. When is the Sabbath day? And this video is going to shock many or all who watch it who believe Sabbath is on Friday to Saturday. Now, I'm not here to tell you when or when not to do Sabbath or never to do Sabbath. No, that's not my job. My job is to point out the legal fallacy that Friday to Saturday is Sabbath. I'm going to prove it. Now, there's going to be some contortion. There's going to be contorters. There's going to be naysayers, objectors, and I welcome those people. I enjoy those people. It's a vice to them, and it's a tool to me. It's like putting all my tools in my Snap-on toolbox. Imagine this great big Mac Tools toolbox, top and lower, and side cabinets. Every one of those times as people say something, it adds to the logical fallacy if it's opposed. So we're going to do a video today. This is the first video. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, over a year now. I'm just now getting to it. And you'll be able to see the transition that we go through on the video. You'll be able to see the logic behind why Friday to Saturday is not the Sabbath, nor is Sunday the Sabbath. Friday to Saturday, or Thursday to Friday, or Friday for the Muslims, Saturday for the Jews, Sunday for the Christians. All three of those days are not the Sabbath. And I'm going to prove it. And it's going to be 100% factual. All I'm doing is taking a case based on the facts that's presented to me factually. I'm going to make the argument that all three of them are in error. And when you find out why they're in error, you're going to have to ask the question, well, God, they've succeeded, or they conceded to the Vatican and to global commerce, which is what Alexander Hislop said in the two books on the two Babylons. But he wasn't really, that was a secondary or third, fourth source. The book was kind of good, but it really isn't something to take really cognizant recognition to. But he did make a statement in it. I'll give him credit for that. That when the Sabbath came around, based off of the moon and sun cycle, the people of those times, ancient times, those people wept and wailed, gnashed of teeth, and they didn't want to have a Sabbath. So let's go to, we're on the front page of the site. Let's go to Mosaic Law. And I'm going to scroll down here. I got to move the page down here, so bear with me here. I'm going to go down here to Sabbath. Go to Sabbath. So, you take a look at the page, talk about it's a happening blessing. Thank you for showing up to the school. Take a look. Just look. I'm not going to read this. I am going to go to, let's see, welcome to New Moon Society. Welcome to Israeli New Moon Society. Now, the George Gordon students, including myself, I was a Gordon student, and I come to the realization after much research, a lot of that material that he done was topical and at best and grievously defective, and caused a lot of problems. But I don't care about that either. Moreover, he got the Passover wrong in the wrong dates too. He's toggling back and forth. But that's okay. At least he did the Passover. So no big deal there. He did the Passover. Fine. You do the Passover. That's great. I'm not telling you when or when not to do the Passover. I don't care. If you do it at all, it's not my business. I don't care when you do or do not when you do or not do the Sabbath. I don't care about that either. That's not my business. I'm just telling you, Friday to Saturday ain't it, buddy. Mr. and Mrs. Yahweh Group Keepers Sabbath. That's not it. I'm going to factually point this out, but I want to show you something. On the page, you click the link. It's going to open up to another one. Now, they got an Israeli New Moon Society happening here. And they got some videos. And they got download Lunar Cal 4.0 release version software for predicting the visibility of the moon. This is happening in Israel. And if you watch the video, you know the Friday to Saturday guys have got big problems. I don't know how they're going to deal with it when it comes time. But here's a video. You can watch it right here. And is it going to load it? It might take a little time, and I'm not here to load it. But you can watch it. No, I'm sorry. Here's another video. The 4th Annual International Temple Mount Awareness Day, Part 2, Dr. Roy Hoffman, Israel New Moon Society. Now, I thought the Jews said Friday to Saturday was on Sabbath. Sabbath was on Friday to Saturday, I'm sorry. They admit, these guys in here admit that the rabbis knew that one day the Sabbath would no longer be on Friday to Saturday. So all those Friday to Saturday keepers that say Sabbath goes clear back to Genesis, the Garden of Eden, that's so absurd. The Bible does not support that. The primary legal source, the Torah, all 66 books of Torah, the Bible, the holy set-apart scriptures does not support that. Never has, never will. That is your Eckhart treatise on calendars or new moons and Sabbaths, whatever it is. Even Eckhart was wrong, and he admits it if you pay very close attention to the words out of Eckhart's mouth. He even admits he has no clue when Sabbath is. And I'm going to do a video on that. When you see that, you're going to see how absurd that non-primary legal source is. Now, George had a bad problem by going not to non-primary source. He never got into statutes at large or the session law or looked at how the statute was even constructed. I solved those problems in my class. But I'm not here to say in my class. I'm just telling you I solved that problem on one of the chapters in chapter 28 called statutory construction. I solved that problem. I show you how statutes are written. Primary source. Not this 3rd, 4th, 5th source over here that has no relevance to the primary legal source that was written. These guys here talk about it and they go through it. Now check it out. It's the 4th Annual International Temple Mount Awareness Day, Part 2, Roy Huffman, Israel New Moon Society. And here's one about the Shemitah. We got the Shemitah coming up here. We got some calendars. I got to take these off here. Troy Miller, get his email, creationcalendar.com. Go to his website, get his email, study it. He may or may not have made some errors, but the question is he wrong? Is he right or wrong? He's right. He's right in terms of the Sabbath not being connected any way, shape, or form to the Gregorian calendar, and I'm going to prove that. So I thought I'd share that with you. This deals with the Shemitah. This is Rabbi Cohen, Jonathan Cohen. Check it out. This here actually needs to be fixed. This is so I'm not going to play that, but you can take a look at that. I'm going to go ahead and X that out. I'm going to X that out. And let's go ahead and get on with the I'm going to go ahead and X all that. Let's get on with the video here. Okay, here we go. So bear with me. Bear with me on this. This is going to be different and unique to anything you've had to deal with. So I'm going to X that out. Alright, so let's go take a look at why I'm telling you straight up. And I actually have... That's not it. I actually have documentation written out on this, but I didn't want to do that. I want to stick with the primary factual evidence before us on this question. I didn't want to go to the Bible, because what happens is when you go to the Bible and you give your interpretation, the Christians and the Friday to Saturday Sabbath keepers and the Yahweh group people and everybody else will call you a liar and an idiot and distort your interpretation. They made the argument. I take their argument like a good researcher, a lawyer, attorney, whatever I am, and I make the argument back to you. And I said, well, here's your case. Here's the facts predicated on your argument, what you made. Let's go take a look at it. Now I want to make a claim here. The Friday to Saturday Sabbath keepers have two calendars. They have two calendars. One for the Sabbath and one for the feast days. They have two idolatry issues. All right, let's move forward here, and I'll prove that to you. Okay, here's a basic calendar. For sake's argument, I said, okay, let's give them their just due, and let's make Sunday 1, Monday 2, Tuesday 3, Wednesday 4, Thursday 5th day, Friday the 6th day, and on the 7th day they rest, Friday to Saturday. Is that fair? That's fair, right? Now this is September 2013. Is that fair? Do you think that's fair? I think it's fair. It's okay, so we'll say it's fair. 7, 14, 21, 28. Boom, that's their Sabbath. But what about these other days? Why isn't this 1 and 2? And why is the calendar doing that? I'll show you why. See that right there? The calendar's tracking the moon cycles. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. We're going to try to stick to the program here, and let's move to the next one. This is pretty simple. So you see that one, right? Let me X that out. You see that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Saturday they rest, Sabbath, right? Is that fine? There's counting. So what's the elements? We've got a month. We have names of the days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On the 6th day, on the 7th day they rested, right? 24 hours. They rest clear into Sunday. They start at Friday evening to Saturday evening. Okay? So forget about the Sunday thing on the 8th. So they start here and end here. So there's that, right? That looks good, right? Now the names of the days are set in stone. These don't change, do they? The months go through their cycle, January through December. They go through their sequence of name, January through December. So these days are set in stone. These numbers here are just so happens to fall 1 through 7, and 7th day being on Saturday. 7th day being the 14th, the 21, 28. Okay, is that fair? That's fair. Let's go to the next one. All right. Days still stay the same. This is October. Days are the same. They still stay the same. They don't move around. They're not changing up. But look what changed. Notice number 1. Number 1 is on Tuesday. Number 2 is on Wednesday. Number 3 is on Thursday. Number 4 is on Friday. Number 5 is on Saturday. But this is still their Sabbath. Notice their Sabbath still here. Their Sabbath, this Sabbath here and this here are attached. But these numbers changed. So if you count 1 through 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in theory, if they were actually counting a day, the Sabbath would be on Monday. Is that fair? Now, a lot of people say, well, it's Friday to Saturday, and it's Friday to Saturday goes all the way back to the Garden of Eden. If that's true, then why aren't the numbers following the same sequence? You know that's a lie. They'll lie to you in your face. They don't have the answer for it. And the reason they don't have the answer because they can't deal with the evidence. The evidence before us, this right here, this evidence proves they're not counting nothing. It's about the name of a day. All right. So Monday, the Sabbath should be on Monday. The 14th is Sabbath. 21 and 28th. Notice the day's track. But here they change. And it's still Friday to Saturday. These names of these pagan names stay the same. They don't change. Do you notice that? They do not change on the calendar. But the numbers change, so the numbers mean nothing. So they're not actually counting. They just go right to the calendar, say, where's Friday to Saturday? Oh, there's Sabbath. Boom, here you go. Clear back to when the calendar was made. Clear back to Garden of Eden. God made Friday and Saturday Sabbath. Now you got these 7-day Adventists, you got these preachers, you got these Friday to Saturday keepers. I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't be doing a Sabbath. Well, no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not here to tell you to rebel against Sabbath and not do it and give God the middle finger. I wouldn't do that at all. But I'm telling you straight up, Sabbath is not Friday to Saturday because they're not counting. There's no counting of 7 days. And on the 7th day, God rested. You're not counting 7 days. They're saying this is 7 days and the number moves around. That's their argument. All right, let's go to the next one. Now I took the liberty of scratching all the numbers out. You don't know if that's a number or not. You don't know if there's numbers here, here, or here. Start here, 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 or anywhere. You have no idea. You think you might know where a number is, but when there's no numbers and they're all floating around, numbers don't mean anything. So why have them? You know exactly where a Sabbath is. It's right here, Friday to Saturday. So somehow or another, in their logic, they've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They said, well, the days don't change. The names of the days don't change, and we're just going to say, okay, here's Sabbath. But for an added kicker, I did leave in the phases of the moon. You ever ask the question, why does NASA and everybody do that? They put phases of the moon. So think about that. Friday to Saturday. There's no numbers, but they say, well, here's Sabbath right here. But they're not counting. They never counted anything. There's no counting to this. It's a fixed time. If it's fixed, why count? You don't need to count. You say, oh, look, there's the F word. And then there's the S word, the Sat word, and the Freya word. Oh, look, there's a word. It's about the name of the day versus 7 days. They didn't count anything. They didn't count anything like the ancient Hebrews had to go to the mountains to determine when Sabbath was and Passover, especially coming out of Egypt. It's clear. It's in Genesis. It's in Exodus when they were counting and going looking to the stars, heavens, and moon. Sun, heaven, and moon to count Sabbath. It's there. It's in Genesis. It's all through the New Testament. It's there. The evidence is before us right now is that they don't count 7 days. They're not counting anything. They look right to a word, 2 words, Freya and Saturn, or Shabdati, Saturday, and they say there's Sabbath. They put Saturday with Saturn, or Saturday with Sabbath. All right. Let's take a look at this. Here it is again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's a fixed day. I actually put allowed to remain the numbers in the cycles of moon. So they say, see, Sabbath's right here, Friday to Saturday, Friday to Saturday, Friday to Saturday, Friday to Saturday. 29 or 28, 21, 14, 7. Is that fair? That's fair. Now, the Gordon crew, all the people who went to George Gordon, they say the big full moon is the new moon. They don't know what these mean, or this. They have no idea what these 3 things mean here and why they're in sequence. But that's another time. We're going to make videos specifically talking about that. Now, Troy does a lot of work on that. But I'm going to make videos on that. So keep that in mind. Well, that's another day for another time for another day. So here you go. You have first quarter on Thursday. But they're not paying attention to this. Any of this moon stuff does not come into play to their Sabbath whatsoever. Now, I showed you the Israeli New Moon Society. It's coming into play. The rabbis and the Jews are going back to the Genesis, Exodus calendar, the biblical Torah calendar. They're doing it. But the Friday to Saturday guys who insist it's Friday to Saturday and I'm beating my fist on the table and you're stupid and you're this and that, they're just wrong. And they can't prove they're right. And they can't even do the math to say Friday goes all the way back to Genesis. There's no mathematical model that shows that. You know why that is? Because this calendar wasn't in existence when Genesis was around. Anyhow, Friday to Saturday, I kept that intact so you can see that. Same thing. Kept it intact for them. You can see it. They're not counting any of this. They're not counting. And when they go to do their Passover, they use the big moon. They use the full moon for the new moon. They say the full moon's the new moon. How they deduce that logic is absolutely insane. George taught them to think that way. Now, last time I did that one Passover when it rained, 2009, it rained for 9 or 10 days in the Ozarks. And for some reason or another, the father had it rain and just completely flood out Isabella, or not Isabella, but Theodosia, and over there by Cookies, and the Bull Shoals was all flooded up, and there was a lot of rain, and it was intense. It rained back here in Ohio, and it's cold. George couldn't. He says, I don't know if it's this month or next, and I don't know if it's on this day or that. He didn't know. I think he knew, he just didn't want to address it because he would have to admit error as the all-knowing guru teacher. Now, I raised that question to him, but there was somebody else before me there that raised that question to him too, and George said he ignored him. Talked about him. I don't know the guy's name. He was a skinny guy, lived around the area over there in Arkansas or somewhere. He was a skinny, tall guy. He worked with George, and he posed a question to George, and George just blew him off. I asked George the same question, and I never got a response out of him. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Sabbath does not fall on Friday to Saturday every day of the week, because God is not that feeble and impotent to track the Gregorian Vatican calendar. If you think that, you're stupid, and you're blind, a nitwit, a dummy, just like me. I was blind, stupid, nitwit, and a dummy. That's me. I believe that devilish lie from '98 before I ever met George Gordon. I know a lot of things before I ever met George. Was in court, had more court cases before I ever met George. And been the law liar before I ever met George, and all kind of other groups and everything else. And things, and trying to buy legal material, and was in a foreclosure. So 97 or 98, I'm going to say 98, July of 98, clear up to 2007, I knew that. In 2007, that was a lie. After I did some more research, I found out, I got Troy's material, did my own primary source research, legal research. I discovered that, for me, that's just a lie. That's a devilish lake of fire lie. Alright, let's go on here to the other bit here. Alright, here we go again. Sabbath again. Alright. Notice the days change. It's day 1 on Saturday. And so it's day 1 on Saturday, right? That's Saturday. So when does the first working day of the work week begin? Does it start on Sunday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that when it starts? Notice the number doesn't track number 7. Shouldn't this say number 7? It says number 1, 8, 15, 22, 29. Now that's actually the correct biblical calendar numbers. But that's on the premise you're saying, well, that is that is falling on the correct day. Well, that's not true. Notice it's 1. So where should 7? Notice 7 here should be Sabbath. Friday should be Sabbath. So this here proves, here's Friday to Saturday, this here proves, this would be, I don't know, 29 or 30 or whatever it was. But this proves, without a doubt, proves that the numbers are not being used. Numbers are not being used in terms of counting anything. There's no counting. Because here should be Sabbath. They should be resting on Friday. But you know why they don't do none of this? According to the cycle of the moon? Is because it interferes with their lifestyle. It interferes with commerce. And the world does not want to track God's heavenly calendar. That's why. So let's go to the next one. Here it is again. This is November 15th, 2015. I'm sorry, November 2015. It tracks. Look where it's at. All it ends up on. Look, this little sliver. So now this sliver is the Sabbath. It looks like paganism. To me, it looks like Islam or something. You ever notice that? And do you ever ask the question? Here it is again. Why this does this and what day this means? Is this the new moon? Or is this full moon the new moon? Is this new? Looks like it's getting bigger, 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 bigger. Full, that's new. That's what they say over at Gordon's Law School. They say this is the new moon. That's insane on space. All right, notice it says, now the numbers, November 2015 is 1 through 7. This is their Sabbath. Notice that? Notice the moon's doing something here. And notice these people who make this software and NASA, these people are counting the new moon. Notice that's NH. But they say this full moon is NH, and this FM should be here, and this NH should be here. Notice the Gordon Law students do that. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. All right. Let's go to the next one. I took the liberty of removing the numbers. So you see in the other calendar. Now tell me, can you identify where Sabbath's at and how to identify it? If you're not stuck on the Gregorian calendar, and I left these names here for you to help you out just a little bit of confusion and madness. You say, well, there's Friday to Saturday, that's Sabbath. Okay. What happens when these days interfere with your full moon? And can you show me where Sabbath would be right next door to your Passover? Now, Gordon made it fit. He just did it. He said, well, these are my rules. You do it my way or the highway. So, can you show me that? I thought I'd share this with you. In that vein, let's go back here and take a look at Let's go back here and try to take a look at something here. I'm going to go through the calendar with you. I'm going to go through July. I'm going to go through the entire year. So we're going to go through the entire year. Here's January 2015. Notice 1 is here. First day of the month is on Thursday. You notice that? First day of the month's on Thursday. Second day, third day. Now they said this is the seventh day, the Sabbath. So notice they're not counting here. So 1, 2, 3. This is the seventh day, but this is the number third day. So their Sabbath theoretically should be on number 7, but it's not. It's on the third day of the month, or for the third day of the week. Notice the numbers change, counting, the numerology, numbers, the actual math that makes the calendar work. Notice the numbers change, but the days of the week do not. You notice that? Notice that. The days stay the same, but the numbers change. So are we actually counting anything? You didn't have to count to get to Friday or to Saturday. You just look at the calendar, flip it open. That calendar on your wall has been tracking clear back to Genesis for 6,000 years or 7,000 years. And you say, oh, there's Friday, Saturday, Sabbath. There you go, I'm done. Just pop the calendar up. Oh, Friday, Saturday, Sabbath. Didn't count anything, did they? I didn't either. I didn't count nothing. I said, where's Sabbath? Oh, it's right Friday to Saturday. By the way, on a side note, where did they get the idea to call these days these names? And where do these names come from? But the Friday to Saturday guys, they'll just broad brush that and they won't pay attention to that. You're just stupid. The truth of the matter is they've been deceived. So the numbers change. Let's go to February. Oh, look here, we went from February back to 1. Now take a look at this. So 1 is here. 1, 2, 3. This is January. Now take a look here. Now it's here. It's Sunday is 1. And on this February 2015, the 6th day is here. And on the 7th, they rest. Here's 7th day. You notice that? So 7, 14, 21, 28. That's their Sabbath. So they said, well, look, it all lines up. We out for a minute. And look, March 2015. If it was truly counting anything, these numbers would track these days and this moon. Everything would be in harmony. It's not. It's going 3 different directions, 3 different ways at 3 different times. So look, we're right on track again. Here's the 7th day. Now let's keep going to April. Look. The first day begins here. Well, so now we're not counting the day of the month. So now they'll take and conveniently swipe away the first day of the month when they get their checks from the government, or their paycheck if we get paid once a month or twice a week. So here they get paid twice. They get paid on the 1st and the 15th. Every 14 days or whatever it is, they get paid on the 1st, the 14th, or the 30th. Whatever they do, they get paid once a week. They get paid. Right? No. I get paid on Friday. I get paid on Saturday. We get paid on Wednesday. Notice that? Notice the numbers change. It's April 2015. And they say this is and this full moon is the new moon, and it's Passover, and it's the beginning to count from Passover and the Sabbath. They say this is day number 1. But it says number 4 here. But on the 11th day, it says last quarter. And then it says no moon or no moon. First quarter. See the problem? Well, okay, now let's May 2015. 1. Oh, look. Friday to Saturday. 1 and 2. Sabbath should be on Thursday. If they were counting anything, they ain't count nothing. They ain't count anything. Same with June 2015. First day of the week is on a Monday. You count 7 days. Their Sabbath should be on Saturday. Now this does the same thing for the Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians. Muslims, Jews, and Christians. Nobody's counting anything off this calendar. They're just picking a name of a day and say that's the Sabbath. They didn't count diddly squat jack. That's a fact. So we're at June 2015 and the numbers are moving around, but the names of the days are still the same. And the moon is changing around too. So which is it? July 2015. 1. Here's the Wednesday's the first day of the month. And it's a full moon. But their Sabbath's on the fourth day. So they're not actually counting this day, are they? So in reality, their Sabbath should be on Tuesday. Sabbath this month starts on Tuesday, but no, it starts on Friday to Saturday. You ever notice that? Christians got the same problem, but the Christian ain't making the argument. I don't care. Christians aren't saying, well, it's Saturday or Sunday's the Sabbath, and Christians really ain't going out there and doing that. Not like these Gordonites and these Friday to Saturday keepers. This is stupid. I'm going to tell you, that's wrong. They're only counting the name of the day. And then you ain't counting the name of the day because it's fixed. So they're not counting. They're going to the bottom of the week on the calendar and they're saying, there it is. They didn't count anything, did they? Okay, look, this is August 2015. First day of the month. 1, 8, 15, 22, 29. And you know what? When it comes to their paycheck and their bills, they'll use this part of the calendar. When it comes to their Sabbath, they'll use this only. When it comes to the Passover, they'll use this right here. So they in and out, in and out, in and out. They have no idea where Sabbath is. If they was on an island with just the moon and sun and the stars in heaven, they could not find out where Sabbath is. They was there for 6 weeks, lost track of time. They would not know where Sabbath is. They could not figure it out with a road map. As George used to say, it's a road map with what he used to say? At high noon with a road map. So they only say, well, it's Friday to Saturday. They ain't counting, but look, number one's here. So in theory, Sabbath should be on Friday. But it's not. It's on Saturn's Day or Saturday. Okay, September. Well, look, September. First day of the week starts here. Last quarter on their Sabbath. They get this right. Last quarter. So, where should Sabbath be? So, shouldn't Sabbath be on a Monday? Seventh day. No, it's not. It's on Friday to Saturday. There's no counting of days. It's just, we know it's a fixed name. That you just erase all the other crap off the calendar and say, where's Friday to Saturday? They say it's right here on the calendar, Friday and Saturday. Just go to the calendar and delete all the numbers on the calendar, and that way you just go to Friday and Saturday and say, here's the Sabbath. Because you ain't counting, you ain't using these, and you're not using this, and you're not, the month don't mean anything to you either, because you ain't counting the cycles of the moon and sun working together in harmony. Let's move forward. And they won't be able to figure out where Tabernacles is. That's another day for another. That's another story for another day. October 2015. Look, Thursday, number one day, but the second and the third starts the Sabbath. Sabbath is on the third. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days. Shouldn't this be Sabbath? They're counting. But they're not counting anything. You know the purpose of counting was when the Hebrews counted this. Just like the Israeli New Moon Society. Israeli New Moon Society. Israeli New Moon Society. So you Friday to Saturday keepers who bang the gong on that, you're wrong. Your evidence proves that you don't know where a Sabbath is. I'm making a prima facie showing. And nobody's ever made anything different other than what I'm saying. Nobody has. Let's go to November. Oh, look. Sabbath starts, first day of the week or month starts on Sunday. And so Sabbath falls right in line with the number 7. One of the elements, it says seventh day. Seventh day to what? To the names of the calendar? Or to God's heavenly creation in Genesis 1? Now I'm going to depart from that just for a minute. We're going to go and take a look at this, see what it says. Now, anybody that knows about writing books and so forth, my daughter just taught me something the other day I want to share with you. It was always a mystery to me how those guys wrote in the 1800s, how they wrote. Okay, how they wrote is always a mystery. What type of writing there was? Well, there's three types of writing. There's the paragraph. There's the pyramid upside down, the pyramid right side up, and there's the diamond writing. The pyramid upside down means the bulk of the story is up front in your face. We're going to tell the story right up front. The pyramid right side up is the bottom. The bulk of the story is at the bottom. The diamond, crown diamond, is the story in the middle. And on the Westlaw books, you find this little diamond. You ever notice that? And I noticed how the writers wrote that way. Well, I'm going to show you something. My daughter hit me to that the other day. And guess what? It's in Genesis. The way they wrote is in Genesis, and it's in the Bible. So here you go. Take a look at this. Oop. Look at this. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. And Genesis 1:2, and the earth was out form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the faces of the waters. Genesis 1:3, and God said, let there be light. Number 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Let there be light. And there was light. God saw that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Light from darkness. Light from darkness. Light from darkness. Light from darkness. Let me get rid of that here. And God called the light day, and he called the darkness, and the darkness he called night. Let me read that again because I'm getting ahead of myself. Genesis 1:5, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. I'm going to talk about this for a second. See that right there? I've been going through every book of the Bible. I've already went through the New Testament. I'm going through the Old Testament now. I'm on 1 Samuel. I crawl through every word, every line, every paragraph, and looking for any semblance, reference in the English language. Not the Hebrew or Greek, just the English language. And I want to show you something. I just clicked King James Plus or Strong's numbers. This 3117 is very critical. Notice it's in the beginning of the Bible. When you do a word search on this, okay, and this 216, this 3117, and this 2822, and this 6153, and the morning 1242, when you do a word search on this, look what it says here. Yom, from an unused root meaning to be hot, day, as warm, hours, rather literally from sunrise to sunset, or from sunset to the next. Notice how they twisted it, but notice what it says up from sunrise to sunset and the day. Now what they did was they took even to even, right? And they made that and they said that's a day. Excuse me. God divided the light from the darkness. In Genesis 1:5, and God called the light day. Sabbath day. Keep the Sabbath day holy. And the darkness 22 or 28:22, he called the night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Notice that? When is Sabbath? Did you know Jesus Christ said a day has 12 hours in it? I'm not here to debate with you. I'm just telling you, there's a lot more to Sabbath than what meets the eye here. So we're right back to this again, okay? And I've been crawling through every book, every word, every sentence, every paragraph, looking for something very specific. And when I get it all done, I'm going to upload the whole thing all the books in a Word document. Each book has a Word document with its name on it. I'm going to upload it, and I'm going to show you everywhere that I found it that I didn't miss. And I'm going to show you the vastness and the very pointed, very specific meaning when it comes to time. The only way I could pull this off is go from page 1 to 1066, or whatever the pages are. You have to go through every one of them. Even your e-sword is not as definitive or copious research as this. This is a very painful process. It's a painful process because it commands very much attention and paying attention to every word, every line, every sentence. Now the Christians and the Gordonites who follow and parakeet every word that George says, they're not doing that. But in order to find out the true question on the Sabbath, I had to do this, and I found out. And I'm going to tell you right now, what is Friday to Saturday versus God's heavenly Sabbath is not even remotely close to being the same. It's true, you're going to have a Sabbath. You have to decide that for yourself. I don't care where your Sabbath is. Not my business. I'm just telling you, on the face of this complaint, you're going to lose the question. I'm going to win. Factually, the facts tip my side of the Anubis or the scale. You're going to lose the case factually. I don't have to go into e-sword. I don't have to go into my theory of Sabbath and what I say it is, and my all-knowing impetus of Sabbath and the scriptures and the research. I don't have to do that. I just argue your case. You lose. I'm the winner. I'm a victor. I want to be a victor. And you lose because Friday to Saturday is not the Sabbath, period. I don't give a shit what Jew says Friday to Saturday is the Sabbath. They made an agreement with Rome. And if you don't believe me, go to any video with Jews in Jerusalem weeping and wailing at the Wailing Wall, the Roman fortress wall. The reason, you know why they're there instead of the old city of David? Is because they made a contract, a pact, so many thousands of years ago with Rome and the Vatican, and they're over there wailing and wailing, weeping and wailing at the Roman wall. That's a Roman wall. That's not the old city of Jerusalem. Keep that in mind. So I don't care if it's Friday to Saturday guy, it's a Gordon student, or it's a Yahweh believer, or it's this Bible Institute, or these people over here, this. They're wrong. You can't prove that you're right factually based on this, what I've presented here. You lose. Now you're going to have to come up with some other theory, some other mathematical formula to illustrate. But you can't do that because Genesis is very clear. You're going to have to defeat the substantive law. This is the primary law. I'm not going outside the law. I'm making the factual argument based on your calendar and your claims. If you can disprove me, prove me. I know you can't, because I've never lost this debate, and it's unbeatable because it's not my debate, it's yours. It's your argument, it's not mine. I'm not arguing my case. I'm arguing your case is defective. I don't need to argue my case. I know my case is something else. I don't have to present my case. I'm going to present my case eventually, but when I do, it's going to be so devastating that you might as well just sit down and accept it, that you need to go back to the chalkboard and come up with a new Sabbath time frame. That's all. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I'm not here to coddle you or, do those things for you. I'm not here to do that. We teach law, and facts are predicated on the thing before humanity or mankind right now in our face, and this is it. So with that in mind, let's go to one more. Let's go to December or November. Let's go to December here. December. Notice the numbers change. The days stay fixed. Keep that in mind. Friday to Saturday is their Sabbath. They ain't counting diddly squat. They ain't using the moon. But when it comes time for tabernacles, they'll go to the moon and say, "Oh look, here's tabernacles. Oh look, here's tabernacles. Oh look, here's tabernacles." So they have two calendars. They have three calendars. They have a name of the day calendar. They have the month calendar, and then they'll come over and have this calendar. And I didn't do it. That's the argument that you made, not me. I'm not arguing about it. I'm just telling you, factually, your case is not supported based on the facts. I get summary judgment, you lose. If you got another mathematical or another question that outperforms this, then you've not presented your case squarely. You've hid some facts or made something up. So all this evidence, all this factual evidence is out the window. This factual evidence can't be used because now you've got some other factual evidence that's never been presented before. That your complaint is it's Friday to Saturday, and I'm telling you, you're crazy as hell. That's what I'm telling you. Anyhow, this is Craig Kirk at the Kirk School of Law, and this is the first installment on the Sabbath videos, and I look forward to sharing this with you. You can see in it, upload it, pass it around, and we're going to go ahead and edit this video, and we are pretty much done. So I'll go ahead and stop this, and we'll see you on the next video.